Hello and welcome back. Today we'll talk about information warfare. Why is it that India keeps losing its narrative war despite doing brilliantly in the battlefield? We will briefly touch upon what happened in Kargil, Doklam, Balakot, Galwan, and very recently in Operation Sindoor. A lie now spreads faster than a missile, powered by emotion, repetition, and a thousand retweets. The battleground is no longer only on the ground or in the air, it is inside our screens. Every citizen with a smartphone has become part of the battlefield. So, in this episode, we will ask, why does India lose the information war? Let's begin by asking, what is an information war? Information war is not about holding land, it's about holding belief. It's a battle to control perceptions, not positions. It uses news clips, tweets, drone footage, and emotional imageries. It influences how the world reacts and whether it supports or condemns you. As P.W. Singer in his book Weaponization of Everything writes, if something is viral, it's vital. How has India performed in the past information war? Our records show a consistent gap. In Kargil, we were late to tell the world our side, though we recovered diplomatically. In Balakot, Pakistan spun a captured pilot into story of restraint. In Galwan, China said little, but that silence shaped the story. And very recently, in Operation Sindoor, Pakistan used emotional disinformation to overshadow our precise and legal actions. The pattern is clear. We act, they narrate. Let us examine the past incidents in detail. Is there a pattern wherein we win the tactical victory but have always lost the narrative? India has fought and often won at the tactical and operational level, but each major conflict has revealed a strategic blind spot in our narrative warfare capability. Here is a chronological analysis of key episodes. In Kargil War, military outcome was that India reclaimed key heights after a difficult high altitude war. Enemy was pushed back across LC. However, our narratives failed. Initially slow in briefing global media and foreign governments, Pakistan portrayed infiltrators as Kashmiri freedom fighters, and India recovered late by exposing Pakistan soldiers, though we had their ID cards, bodies, and radio intercept. The lesson was be first with the facts, control the initial briefing. In Doklam, India stalled Chinese road construction. However, there was a vacuum in the narrative. China maintained ambiguity and strategic silence. India failed to explain Bhutan's position or our treaty with Bhutan. Western coverage framed it as bilateral between India and China, downplaying Bhutan's sovereignty. In Balakot, India launched airstrikes on a Jaish-e-Mohammed camp deep inside Pakistani territory post Pulwama. However, we lacked visual evidences and there was no timely official briefing. Pakistan dominated the narrative by showcasing captured pilot Wing Commander Abhinandan. The lesson learned, control the imagery, control the story. In Galwan, India inflicted casualties on PLA. However, narrative once again became a challenge. China revealed no casualty, allowing them to dominate perception through silence. India released figures leading to domestic outrage. There were no visual drone footage or global diplomatic campaign. The lesson learned was opacity must be strategic, not disorganized. And now, the recent Operation Sindoor. Indian forces launched a swift, limited cross border offensive following the Pahalgam attack. However, the narrative just collapsed. Pakistan portrayed the action as unprovoked aggression against the civilian. India's narrative was delayed, disjointed, and lacked international outreach. Global media amplified Pakistani disinformation. Some even accused India of targeting minorities. India failed to preempt or counter the digital wave despite having drone footage, satellite imagery, and legal justification. Precision strike must be matched by precision storytelling, is the lesson. Let's now try and establish a pattern. In every instance, India was slow to communicate, underutilized facts, visuals, and diplomatic capital, failed to tap diaspora, influencer, or real time international media channels, whereas Pakistan and China moved fast, leveraged state controlled media and third party global platforms like TRT of Turkey, Al Jazeera of Qatar, and CGTN of China. We win with our soldiers but lose with our silence. Victory in modern conflict requires us to win not just the fight but the frame. Why does India keep losing information warfare? In addition to what I have covered earlier, there are other reasons which are structural in nature. There is no strategic communication command. Our message is slow and reactive. Sensational domestic media weakens the credibility. We lack a global projection strategy. Our story rarely reaches for an audience, and we focus inward, not outward. We speak to ourselves, not the world. What has Pakistan done better? Pakistan understands the power of perception. Their ISPR acts as a unified war media machine. They release emotional content quickly, even if it's doctored. They collaborate with international platforms like Al Jazeera, TRT, CGTN, and they know that the first narrative often becomes the lasting one. In information warfare, speed plus emotion is equal to dominance. Let's quickly have a look at what do Israel and US do differently. These countries treat narrative as part of battlefield planning. Israel uses the IDF spokesperson unit to brief, justify, and inform in real time. The US embeds journalists and uses psychological operations and structured communication. They pre clear footage, conduct daily briefings, and synchronize diplomacy with media. They don't tell their story after the strike, they tell it as part of the strike. How does India media hurt its information warfare posture? Our media is a double edged sword. Channels air unverified or unrelated videos, sometimes damaging national credibility. Communal rhetoric is used by Pakistan to paint India as an oppressor. There's no wartime editorial protocol. Every anchor becomes a self declared spokesperson. As the magazine Economist noted, Indian television made social media look sane. That's a damning comment and is a warning to Indian media. What reforms does India need? Winning future information wars require a five-pronged overhaul. Create a strategic communication command under National Security Council. Deploy AI-based real-time monitoring for misinformation and deepfakes. Develop pre-packaged media kits Footage, maps, legal justifications, train journalists, diplomats, and military in strategic messaging, build global influencer and diaspora networks to carry India's story worldwide. Why is winning the information war vital for national security? Because perception shapes power. It influences diplomatic outcomes, UN votes, and foreign aid. It impacts domestic morale and national unity. Even a kinetic victory feels hollow if the world believes a lie. Perception warfare is no longer optional, it is strategic. Today, the battlefield is not just on hills or highways, it's in bandwidth, beliefs, and browser tabs. The next war will be streamed live, fought on screens, decided in seconds. And every Indian online is now a digital soldier by design or by default. George Orwell wrote, in a time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act, but in a time of infinite repetition, even the lie starts sounding like truth if we don't speak fast enough. So let us be clear, India cannot afford to be right but unheard. We must be truthful, timely, and tactical in what we say and show. Let us tell our story with facts. Let us speak not with noise but with clarity and coherence. Because in today's world, if we don't control the story, someone else will write it for us. And no matter how strong we are militarily, victory in mind space is what will define national power in 21st century. With this, I come to the end of today's episode. You are requested to please like, share, and comment. Keep working hard. Jai Hind.